you turn your phone down?
Yes. I just turned the mic on.
Hey, there's people here already.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Chris and
I got
Sarah.
my panda. Who we got? Kid. Hi, Chris. Are you a Buffy? I'm not a Buffy fan. And I'm not a Vampire Diaries fan. You know. But I have read all of the Vampire Chronicles of Anne Rice. Don't get me going on Anne Rice yet. I want to say hi.
Everybody wants in the picture today. Hello, Penny.
Penny Wayne. There's Sarah. Hi, Sarah. And then there's old Hillbilly. Who's this guy right here? So when we come and we go on lives, we try to go together so that it gives 2 views. You know?
2 likes.
2 views, 2 likes. So how y'all doing this week?
Sarah's read Anne Rice.
I also like the Mayfair
Witches.
Witches. That's a good little series.
Hey, now, Ramses was good.
Yeah.
Ramses the Damned.
Okay, I like Anne Rice because she's very descriptive. You know, I've never been to New Orleans or any of these fabulous places that she'll write about. She make you feel like you're there, you know. And I love Interview with the Vampire. I love, God, I wish they had made more of them because you guys, the stories are so good. Let's see, there's Interview with the Vampire, and then there's The Vampire Lestat, Tale of the Body Thief. I'm not sure which of the order they go in. You know what I mean? But I know the Interview with Vampires first. And that's all I can remember right now. Anyway, I love her as a writer. I'm sorry she passed. And I'm sorry that, well, they kind of did the series, you know, and why do they have to change stuff? Why can't they just leave it alone? Write it true to the book. The book's great.
Yeah, Taltos. She got you.
Taltos.
That's one of the Mayfair books, right?
Yeah.
Isn't he the demon or spirit?
Yeah, Lasher and Taltos. I don't remember how it all goes anymore. But Rowan.
At one time, we had all those books and all the Vampire Chronicles, and in the later Vampire Chronicles, like Blackwood Farm, they tie in the Mayfair Witches.
Yeah, with Mona. You remember Mona, Sarah? So that's pretty interesting.
And one of the vampires is a Mayfair, isn't she? Is that one Lestat was running around with? I don't remember.
Anyway, we're going to talk about vampires today.
Yeah, it's been a while since we read the books too. They're really, really good though.
Yes,
worth
I want to read them. In fact, also I'm going to watch Interview with the Vampire tonight because I just like it. I think if you've read the books, Tom Cruise made a great vampire Lestat. But here's a fun fact: my daughter found out that a friend of Anne Rice's was like, "Have you seen this guy named Rutger Hauer?" If you don't know who Rutger Hauer is, you can Google him. He had really, really beautiful, kind of wild blue eyes. One could say almost violet. And Anne Rice said when she saw him, and I don't know what movie she saw him in. I want to imagine it's Lady Hawk because I love that movie. Anyway, she said, "Oh my God, that'd be a great Lestat." So, there's your fun fact.
She said her daughters were into the Twilight books and movies. Now they were good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they were more geared toward the younger crowd. At around the same time, I don't know which one was first. Be worth a look. There was a series called True Blood. It was more adult, but it was the same blasted story, if you see it, except instead of a werewolf, the girl had a choice between a vampire and a guy that changed into a dog. I mean, it was really strange.
We were talking today about...
Yes, Blade Runner.
Yes, he was in Blade Runner. I forgot about... And The Hitcher. He's hilarious in The Hitcher.
Hilarious?
Yes, he is.
He's a guy, someone's fingers.
If you ever watched The Hitcher, like, I really thought that he was going to end up being that old guy's dad come to kill him for some reason. Like, I don't know.
He had a problem with the sparkling. You know, in my research for the vampire stuff we had tonight, it went into how she, in her books, the vampires sparkled in the sun instead of exploding into flames.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Sparkle.
But anyway, did you know that the whole version of sunlight thing was an 18th century thing that came about with books in the 18th century? Before that,
Why?
they were
Do you
not.
think it was the invention of some kind of like better lighting in houses or something?
I don't know. I mean, it didn't go into why they did. And the fangs weren't around till the 18th century. Before that, there was vampiric demons, vampiric entities. They didn't call them vampires, but they were, blood drinkers or essence drinkers. And they were basically just walking corpses. I mean, bloated, blood-soaked corpses. It's nasty.
Anne Rice uses that as part of her story.
What is your shirt tonight? Chris said, Mickey Mouse.
Yes. If we talk about vampires, got to bring the light into it. Okay, help
I
me
got
now.
Dolly Parton under my.
In the book, more so than in the movie, Louis and Claudia go looking for other vampires, because Lestat was kind of a dick. And he told them that there were no other vampires, that he was the only vampire running around. And when there were other vampires, he was the oldest. He told them all kind of stuff.
I think behind it.
So the only vampires they could find were the ones described before they gave them fangs and stuff in real life. The mindless
old world vampires.
creatures.
Uh,
But Anne Rice does not explain what happened, other than the fact that sometimes in her vampires, they will go dormant for a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 years. And that maybe if they do it for too long, like it twists them up.
I think they considered Louis and Claudia newborns, and they just didn't want to mess with them. And I also think Lestat wasn't so much being a dick as he was being lonely. He didn't want them to leave. He wanted to be the center of their world.
So Anne Rice.
Yes, she's deep. You could go into a discussion about Anne Rice for hours.
I think she changed. I mean, all these other things that you guys are Buffy the Vampire and the Vampire Diaries and Twilight, if she had not come along, and by the way, the Twilight series was written by a woman, right?
It's in the very last of my research how she came along and basically changed the vampire.
So that's why I did the clever title. I'm not a vampire lover. I do love Anne Rice.
They did find Armand, and Armand, if you were a fan of the books and then saw the movie, Armand kind of blew your mind because Armand was a kid, and then in the movie he's Antonio Banderas,
middle aged, 35. But he did look good.
Bela Lugosi, yeah. Now I did. That's probably the first one I remember watching, but I did go back and I watched Nosferatu, the old silent film, which was very creepy.
Yeah.
But the Nosferatu, I can't remember his name. The vampire was Count something. But if you look at him and then look at the master in Salem's Lot, they looked a lot alike. Bald head, big pointed ears, and creepy,
Salem's Lot, I forgot about that one.
Hey, Okie Grower.
And then there's the Winona Ryder Dracula one, which I like. Gary Oldman in anything is fantastic.
Sorry I didn't see you for a second, Okie. I was busy talking.
He's proud to be. You ever heard that song?
Yeah, but in that they said joint was a bad place to be.
On contraire.
Lost Boys. There you go, Okie. That's a great one. Lost Boys. Now
I wanted to bring up, I don't know if there's Stevie Nicks has got a a little song that brings up New Orleans and vampires because Anne Rice lived in New Orleans. Yeah, Anne Rice struggled with her.
Chris saw Nosferatu. See, not a lot of
Anne
people
Rice
saw it.
struggled with her religious stuff. She was Catholic. She'd get into Catholicism and then she'd get back out.
Well, when you look at how they treated her.
So religion plays into her series too, and religion plays into
Sarah's
all.
seen Nosferatu. Wow, I thought I was like one of the few, the proud. And all these people seen Nosferatu.
Us boys. Any more vampire movies? Besides Dracula.
Well, there's Vampires, John Carpenter's Vampires with, what was his name? Is one of the Baldwin boys. Not Alec, the other one. The bigger
Steven?
one. No, not Steven, the big one. What was his name? Daniel?
I have no idea.
And it was the guy from
We just don't know.
Diggstown. What was it? It was James Woods?
Hmm.
James Woods, see, thank you, Sarah. Just
Well, wasn't Eddie Murphy a vampire in something?
Vampire in Brooklyn. Now, I don't know if I'd classify that. I mean, yeah.
I've never seen that. Have you seen that?
It wasn't, I mean, in my opinion, it wasn't one of the better Eddie Murphys. Okay.
No. Okay. I feel like there's another one too where Nicholas.
Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh,
How in the world could we not mention Dusk Till Dawn? I mean, hats off to Quentin Tarantino.
Hey, Sarah,
put the scary back.
Who did not want to be some Salma Hayek coming in? Maybe not with the snake, but just doing that dance and looking that way. Woo! Good for her. It's a great movie. I've been watching George Clooney since Roseanne. Actually, wasn't he on Facts of Life? I was not a religious Facts of Life watcher. I was really young.
I don't know. Was he on Facts of Life?
I
I never watched all.
I don't know.
I wasn't allowed in the house quite a bit back in those days. If you came in the house before dinner and you weren't bleeding or a bone broke, you were in trouble.
I like Stevie Nicks. It's a good little song about New Orleans. Like, the music I think would fit there. I haven't been there, so I can't tell you. I saw that David Cropper, whatever you're supposed to call him. Anyway, he made a post from New Orleans.
Yes, American Horror Story is a great series. And their vampire spin was kind of interesting, too.
Lady Gaga. Do you like Lady Gaga as an actress or no?
Well, there was also the last one. Not the last American Horror Story, their last vampire thing with the little girl and her dad. If you were talented, you became like a vampire, but if you weren't, you became
That's right.
the walking corpse type.
Well, like we talked about, vampires are they're kind of an analogy for kind of weird religion, weird sex, and weird. What was the other thing?
Okie Drawer says he'd marry Stevie tomorrow.
Weird religion, weird sex, and what was the other one? The philosophy of vampires.
Man, I can't remember. It was just basically deviant.
Yeah.
Deviant behavior.
Right.
Not really a fan of Lady Gaga. I'm not a fan of a lot of her music or anything, but she was a decent actress.
I felt she was.
Stevie Nicks was a good witch, and I know she's always played up the whole Welsh witch persona, but it makes you wonder, is she really?
She do a little spell, make a little love on it. Who knows?
Maybe it's really Lady Gaga. People were saying it was Amy Winehouse or Katy Perry. Now, see, I heard the Katy Perry thing. They brought that up when we talked about the 27 Club.
What about
that Amy Winehouse became Katy Perry. Remember, we looked into that. There's a whole
They
conspiracy.
became her? Became
Yes.
How?
Katy Perry is Amy Winehouse. But I don't know. Amy Winehouse had that powerful voice.
Yeah, I just watched a documentary I'm
Now,
sorry.
I think Lady Gaga had more of her persona.
Amy, her voice.
Classic.
And it would sample things she listened to growing up because of her mom. She listened to weird, jazzy, I don't know. She was a different girl than Katy Perry.
Showed pictures of the same cluster of moles on them. Now, see, I could see it. I mean, as far as, plastic surgery and all that, I can see where the two would be comparable with just their voices. I mean, I'm not saying she couldn't change her voice a little bit.
All right, are y'all ready?
Kind of made me go to read
Got a little thing
Yeah.
prepared here. If I can just stop coughing. Oh, I got to read this right too because I looked down there and I thought this said
Oh my goodness! It only has
bloated. And I'm like, what are you trying to get me to
It only
read?
has one S.
Are y'all ready? Vampires, they're supposedly mythical creatures that feed on the life essence, usually blood.
Usually blood. Let's not go into this.
Okay. Because vampires originally wore their death shrouds and were described as bloated and ruddy or dark complected. Pop culture made the pale, beautiful vampires we know today.
That's what I was saying earlier. They were basically blood-bloated corpses.
Vampire-like creatures were recorded by different cultures worldwide. The name vampire was coined in Western Europe in the 18th century. They had an incident of mass hysteria where people were accused of vampirism and corpses were dug up and staked. So, why is it worldwide?
Oh my goodness.
Witches are
Okie
worldwide.
George talking about he went to rehab at 14, was in juvie for 2 years. He says, yes, rehab was co-ed, and has this great big smiley face on there. There's a story there.
Energy vampires.
Now, where did we see that? It was
in a Neil Gaiman book. It was in a Neil Gaiman book in the London Underground.
oh yeah.
That book. What's that called?
Neverwhere.
Neverwhere. Yes, these little really good-looking women reminded me of Stevie Nicks, Okie Girl. They come up to you in these velvet dresses. And they come with long blonde hair, and they come loving you up, and they just suck out your life force. That was in that book. All right.
The creatures on Sleepwalkers sucked out your energy.
Cat people.
Can't trust cats.
Well, that's because, of the old legend about how they suck your breath out, right?
The
Okay.
sirens.
So the modern vampire was born in 1819 with John Polidori's novel Vampire.
Vampire.
Okay. So I was watching Gilded Age today, and I was observing their outfits. Now, I don't know if they're trying to be real historically accurate or not, but I was thinking around the turn of the century, there was a lot more access if you lived in a big city to seamstresses, and then there was just shops that would carry stuff, and I said they probably have these little catalogs, we have this pattern, we can get it in this color, this color, this color, this fabric, right? It's it probably opened up, because the colors in Gilded Age are really wild with the dresses for the women. But I mean, wouldn't you, if you had to wear drab, if you were making your stuff, imagine you're not a good sewer and you're poor, and all of a sudden they got shops, maybe you could buy you a little something every once in a while. I'd be coming out looking like a fantastic butterfly.
Alice Krieg. What's that from? Sarah says Alice Krieg is the best villainess. No, I'm not good with names.
I'm not either. Because there's an Alice in Twilight. Is there an Alice in Sleepwalkers?
Alice in Twilight was not a villain. She was a little pixie-type vampire. I don't know what the mother's name was in Sleepwalkers, but she was awesome. Except for the whole...
Well, she was just trying to help her son survive.
Oh, that wasn't all she's helping her son do. That was
all right.
Yeah, we could have done
Let's just
without
go with that. I love Stephen King.
She was the mom. Okay, I kind of had a feeling.
And Stephen King's in Sleepwalkers at the very beginning. Do you know that, Sarah, of that movie? So, John Polidori's
also
novel.
The Borg Queen. See, I never got
What's
into
the Borg Queen?
Borg from Next Generation.
Oh, Star Trek.
Yeah. I never really got into the Next Generation.
My mom watched every Star Trek episode ever invented.
Yeah,
I promise you. And several times.
Her and her son on Sleepwalkers had a very iffy relationship.
Okay, let that go.
Ogie girl brought it up. Dang.
No, see, I knew you were going to get him going. That's what it is. I can imagine
that is the one part that really disturbed me on that movie. The hell with the cat people who sucked out your life force.
Stop!
Yeah, that was just wrong.
Followed in 1897 with Bram Stoker's Dracula, which that is a great movie. Can we just say with Winona Ryder?
They're talking about the book.
Gary Oldman. I know, but the movie was good.
And the original Dracula movie was
because I've read this
Bela Lugosi
Stoker's Dracula. Personally, I think it peaked with Anne Rice and her interview vampire series. Modern vampires have been portrayed as both heroes and villains. Anyway, what I was getting at with the good dresses, right? This is part of the reason why I think the outfits and like the lure of the vampire became sexier, more fleshed out. And also with that book. Okay. In general, vampires were created by being bitten or by some other blood exchange with the vampire.
Well, there is
body fluid.
Drinking of vampire's blood. You know, they kind of do that in Interview with the Vampire. He drains the vampire, or the vampire drains him to the point of death, and then he takes the blood back from the vampire. Blood exchange, you know.
In Slavic and Chinese traditions, a corpse that was jumped over by an animal was feared to become a vampire.
Yeah, it said specifically dogs or cats. So if a cat jumps over your dead body, you're going to be a vampire. How weird is that?
It is weird. Russians said anyone who rebelled against the Russian Orthodox Church would become a vampire.
Yeah.
To prevent loved ones from becoming vampires after death, corpses were buried upside down. Oh, God. Buried upside down. Sometimes they were buried with a wax cross and a piece of pottery inscribed with Jesus Christ conquers. Is that a candle or just a wax cross?
Just a wax cross. Now, it also said that might tie in with the Greek thing of putting the pennies on the eyes or in the mouth to pay Corone. Because if they didn't have the fair, they couldn't cross over and would be undead.
Can y'all hear my panda moaning in the background? He's going.
Steven's still watching Star Trek. Hey, we might still have somewhere. We had the entire Star Trek series on DVD. I mean,
you can watch it on somewhere. It's still, you can still stream it. I don't remember where it is, but you can still stream it. Have you seen the Menagerie episode of Star Trek? You know,
everyone's seen the Menagerie.
Everyone. What is my favorite one? Where they faked Captain Kirk's death, and then Spock is basically crying. Like, Kirk comes walking in, "Oh, you're alive," and he's like smiling. It's freaking awesome.
I like the one
moving
where
on.
Sulu goes
Damn it.
nuts.
Can't believe I did that. You got me excited.
You know where Sulu goes nuts? He's running around the ship with a sword and the sash.
Oh yeah,
That one's great.
He says some crazy thing, and Uhura's like, "I don't think so," and she like pushes him away. My mom made me watch a lot of Star Trek, guys.
The Tribbles are.
I guess that's like the only reason I got to watch SNL back in those days is because it came on like before or after Star Trek. Okay, I can't believe I have bombed. It's so disappointing. Other methods were to cut the tendons at the knees or putting poppy seeds, millet, sand, rice, or some other grain on the grave. Peta, come here. Come here.
My goodness.
I know he just. We're going to tell this story, all right? It's hard to get out tonight. Putting that grain on the grave. This is because the association of vampires with
I don't know what that word is.
erythromania, where a vampire is said to have to count every grain.
They said
they like
said
math.
that one of the things they used to do to ward off vampires was put a sack of rice by the door because he would have to count every grain of that rice and it would keep him busy till dawn. So he'd have to go back.
There's something similar to that in like Scotland and Europe where when they would make their little hinges for their cabinets and stuff, it's called witches' marks. They would do little hashes or dots. It almost looked kind of like dominoes, but it was meant to, I don't know what specific number or maybe even little pictures to ward off spirits.
So that's like the Rain Man. You know?
So probably he was like, okay, how many dots do we got
The
here?
Rain Man was vampires.
How serious are they? An interesting, there's also that.
Vampires have OCD.
Right?
Can you imagine trying to count a bag of rice?
Like I've counted like weird tiles and ceilings in waiting rooms, or something like that.
What's that?
Oh, a different interpretation of Count Dracula. That's really
Count
funny.
I thought
A little side note there. Count Dracula.
Yeah, that's why all vampires are counts. Count crap.
An interesting legend to mention is Lilith.
Oh, this is a good one.
In some Jewish traditions, Lilith was created with Adam to be his equal. She refused to be subservient and left Eden.
And it said she uttered the name of God.
In the King James Version, if you read the chapter Genesis, and if you look at how he talks about Eve first, I'm not sure if he's talking about the same, because he basically it's like he says he creates her, calls her, a woman, and they move on. And then it goes into more detail about the creating, and that's when she's named Eve. So loosely,
Sarah says she counts the ceiling tiles in waiting rooms too.
I mean, it's a thing to do, right? Well, way back in the day too, there was no cell phones. So
I remember
we all have like patterns of behavior that have nothing to do with technology.
Laying on hospital beds, I was always breaking bones and stuff when I was a kid.
My fingers.
Laying on hospital beds and finding the little pictures in the tiles, oh, that one looks kind of like watching clouds.
Like the water spots in the ceiling.
Yeah.
There was one that looked like a UFO.
It's right there.
All right. So Count Dracula. Lilith, she refused to be subservient. In her banishment, she became a demon. And some say the wife of the demon, Asmodeus. I like that better.
Well, I mean,
that guy. Asmodeus. One of the kings of hell under Lucifer, this guy was. Prince of revenge and demon of lust.
Makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, who is going to want revenge more than a woman who got kicked out of Eden for just being independent.
Well, I don't know how it was supposed to be for women, but after the whole apple, supposedly that's where everything got tilted. You know,
Well, it said she was created as his equal.
I always thought though in my back of my mind that I really think it would have been Adam to eat the dang apple.
You would need to find like a Jewish Bible or something to really get or wherever the story comes from. It says Jewish tradition.
Unless it wasn't an apple, was it?
I don't know.
Do you know
That's
what I
what
mean?
everybody says.
It had nothing to do with the apple. There was like a sexy man in the forest. He was walking along trying to get that Adam his dinner, and the sexy man in the forest talked to her a certain kind of way, and she's like, all right. There we go. That was the apple. That's what I feel, right?
Where does sexy man come from?
Lucifer, right? When this man right here, Asmodeus, set him up there looking all fine.
You know, it makes you wonder why God let Satan in the garden.
Because we have free choice. I don't know. Let's not get into this.
Yeah, let's not.
'Cause I am not qualified.
Lilith was, keep going with Lilith.
Lilith was said to primarily harm newborns and men. She was blamed for nocturnal emissions
Don't. Just keep going.
and infant deaths. This led to her association with blood drinkers.
Yes.
She's considered by many to be the first vampire.
In fact, it was talking about some of the more
This stuff's
modern,
making me blush and sweat.
more of the modern vampire series, that she was actually the progenitor, and they were looking for her.
This is really cool, Lilith.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Lilith Fair.
Exactly. Women. She is like a symbol of power for women because she refused to be subservient.
Well, I feel like over the years that the Bible was cut down in a way that really took away. I think women were allowed to have more grace and power than ended up being the truth.
Anyway.
Okay. Then, of course, there's Vlad the Impaler. Though there has been some argument, it's believed Stoker used Vlad Dracula as his model for Dracula. He is mostly said to have been a just but brutal ruler born in Transylvania, Romania. He ruled Wallachia, Romania, intermittently between 1448 and 1477. He got the name Vlad the Impaler because his signature way of killing was to impale them on wooden stakes. Stakes of wood. Legends say that Vlad liked to eat his meals among his dying victims and dip his bread in their blood. It's nasty. You can see how Stoker created a wooden stake, a blood drinker that could only be killed with a wooden stake through the heart.
I don't think it's coincidence. I really think I mean, Vlad Dracula and Count Dracula, the wooden stake thing, drinking blood. I mean, come on. It's not a big stretch. Madame Bathory, yeah, I didn't find anything on her. I should have looked for that. I didn't. Isn't she the one who used the blood like a youth potion or something? Kind of like they made
Yeah.
the woman in
Horror Story, they made Lalaurie.
Lalaurie.
Lalaurie. Okay, yeah. And then in Hostel, they did that to that one girl. They took a bath in it, you know. Okay, where are we at? Another legend is Mercy Brown. Mrs. Brown was a real person who lived in Exeter, Rhode Island.
I should have put Miss Brown. She was actually younger, but Miss Brown.
Her father was a farmer named George Brown. After many of the family died, including Mercy, of TV, the community needed an explanation. I have got a tickle, guys. It just won't go. We keep swinging from 50 to 60 and then back down to 20 or 30. Today, the wind was terrible, and I went running around in it. So here we go. Where was I? Diet of TV. The community wanted an explanation. It was a common practice to blame several connected deaths in one family on the undead. The bodies of each family member would be exhumed and checked for vampirism. Mercy showed signs of decomposition.
You are not reading it right. She showed very little decomposition.
You guys, I'm sorry. Okay, let me try that whole thing again. I was thinking it didn't make sense. I was trying to roll with it, and then you called me out like it's my fault. I just got a little switched up. All right. The bodies of each family member would be exhumed and checked for vampirism. I have a hard time feeling like why they jumped to that to begin with.
It was the 18th century where I talked about it before, the whole
Dark Ages.
Thing. Well, it was just like during the witch trials. I mean, they would latch onto something supernatural because, I mean, there was diseases going around like TB. You know, it'd wipe people out, and the plague, and they wanted an explanation, so they would blame the supernatural. And at this time, the undead was really on everyone's mind, you know.
But you said Mercy died too.
Yes.
So how are you blaming her?
They exhumed her body.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. You're like witching me out over here. So Mercy was blamed when her body didn't display severe signs of decomposition. It wasn't taken into account that she was buried in an above-ground crypt in Rhode Island in the winter. The townspeople cut out her heart and burned it. My God. They fed the ashes to her sick brother. Shockingly, he too died shortly thereafter.
That was being sarcastic. Yeah. Shockingly.
She had TB.
Let's feed him the ashes of his dead sister's heart, and oh, dang, he died anyhow.
Why did they?
You've been to the crypt where she's buried?
So they were saying like the brother was sick, and that made him
the whole
better?
family no. They thought it would. They thought she was a vampire, and she was causing the deaths in the family. So they thought if they fed him the ashes of the vampire's heart, it would break the curse. But it wasn't a curse, it was TB. And the ashes of his sister's heart did nothing but probably really gross him out. TB still killed him.
I'd have been one of those people they would have hunted down and said I was something, or she for sure, that girl right there. They'd have hunted her down for a witch for sure.
Well, it depends on the time period. Some of the witches, the herbal women were highly respected.
Highly revered. Could be. While the original vampires were just reanimated corpses, modern vampires became quite different. It wasn't until the 19th century that vampires grew fangs, became vulnerable to sunlight. Today's holy water.
Well, holy relics. But
today's vampires have become beautiful, seductive, powerful, and immortal.
Yeah, immortality wasn't a thing. But, okay, the holy relics, needless to say, came in with Christianity. The legends of vampiric entities, not so much vampires, but vampiric entities, predate Christianity. Therefore, they didn't know, he hold up a cross. There wasn't no such thing, there was no cross. Jesus hadn't died yet.
Do you think there's been any, cases where, in places where there are lots of famine, let's just say Russia, for instance, and then people may have been finding bodies that had bite marks or cuts and drained of blood just to eat.
While I was doing the research
for
vampires, I found the subject for what I think should be the subject for our next Supernatural Saturday. The Wendigo. because what you're talking about is actually labeled today called Wendigo psychosis, where people in starvation situations eat people, and that makes them a Wendigo.
So that's what happened to the Donner Party guy.
Well, they made a movie where there was a guy that showed up that lived from the Donner Party, and he was a Wendigo. But there is an actual case of a guy he was an Indian guy that lived with his family all off out in the woods, and at the end of a really long winter, he came back and said his family was dead. Well, when they went to investigate, they had been eaten. And he said it was because he became a Wendigo. And that's what the whole Wendigo psychosis thing.
Oh, God. Thank you for telling me that.
That's why I said it would probably be a really good subject. In fact, Rebecca has done a podcast with that group she was with for a while on Wendigo psychosis.
I don't see her today.
So you got a lot on her mind.
Yes, she does. It's not our news, so be quiet. The 20th century saw the transformation of vampires from villains to heroes. In 1946, Ray Bradbury, he did War of the Worlds, right?
Well, Ray Bradbury Theater. Orson Welles.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
Ray Bradbury was like a science fiction / horror writer.
He made the movie Homecoming, the story of a mortal boy with a family of mythical creatures.
I didn't quite get if it was a movie or if it was a book or what it was, but they talked about Homecoming. I assume it was like a TV show because he did a Ray Bradbury Theater that was like a short story thing, kind of like Twilight Zone. So I don't know what it was, but anyway, it was about a boy with a family full of like vampires and werewolves. Kind of like a normal the
Munsters.
That was on the Munsters where they had the normal niece or whatever it was.
Yeah,
with them?
with the blonde hair.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was Munsters or Addams Family.
Grimm. I've never watched Grimm. Did you watch Grimm?
We watched the Brothers Grimm and
I think she's talking about a series.
yeah, what was that series, girl? Oh, that was Once Upon a Time or something like that. That was awesome.
Once Upon a Time. They did Rumpelstiltskin.
We have a book with the original Grimm's fairy tales, and some of them they've been twisted over the years, buddy. Let me tell you.
In 1966 and 1971, a soap opera called Dark Shadows starred a lovelorn vampire named Barnabas Collins. Barnabas Collins. It's a different Mr. Collins. The soap opera later spawned a movie of the same name starring Johnny Depp and... What was that other girl's name? You didn't mention her.
I knew people would recognize Johnny Depp.
All right.
But it was a decent movie, and my grandma and grandpa used to watch Dark Shadows. My grandpa wasn't a TV watcher. But
well, I think it used to be a radio show before it was a soap opera.
No, I don't believe so. It might have been. I'm not sure. I mean, that was, believe it or not, that was before I was alive.
I really think it was. Well, I didn't go around hearing no radio shows either, but...
Ain't a whole lot happened before I was alive.
God.
You know, people were still chipping rocks.
In
Christina Ricci? Was it her? I don't think so.
In what? Graham.
In Dark Shadows. She was in that werewolf movie. You watched Dark Shadows, Chris? Did you watch the soap opera or the movie or both?
I wonder if you can watch that anywhere.
Dark Shadow? I don't know, man. That's very obscure.
Right.
I mean, yeah, they brought it back to the forefront with the movie, but, I mean, it was a soap opera for how many years? 5 years? I have it on there.
Yes. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's...
You know what? Don't throw math at me real quick. It takes me a minute to go.
You hitting me with math?
No.
Okay, keep going.
I'm trying. In 1975, Fred Saberhagen published, I got a hip hurting today. Out of nowhere. I'm sorry. Fred Saberhagen published the Dracula tape. This was Dracula's story told from the vampire's point of view.
I think that would be interesting.
So is that where Anne Rice got the whole interview with the vampire? Right there.
Maybe, but, I mean...
She just took it further.
Yeah, I mean, that was the story of Dracula.
She's just so good at fleshing out characters, She can have convince you they're real. And, I would love to take a vampire tour of New Orleans. I'll go see the ghost stuff too, but I want to do a vampire tour of New Orleans.
Now, see, that just goes. She's always been more of the vampire fan, maybe because of Interview with the Vampire.
Yes.
I've always been more the werewolf fan. I have no idea why.
Yes.
But at one time, I had every werewolf movie I could find on tape.
I had never read the books when I saw the movie. I went on a date with this guy, and he took me to see the movie. He was really into Anne Rice. I didn't even know.
And
then after that, I wanted to read the book because the movie was so good. He's like, if you like that movie, it's just a smidgen as good as that book is. I was like, all right, because I'm a good reader. I love reading.
I was so into werewolf movies. I even had one. I remember this is one of my more obscure ones. It was called A Mexican Werewolf in Texas. I ain't joking. It was a thing. And it was the most god-awful. It was actually the chupacabra. And it was the most god-awful costume of a dude in a rubber suit you've ever seen in your life. I mean, it was horrible. I had it.
He likes werewolves. I like vampires.
That's what I'd say. Yeah, it's almost like the whole...
It better be a good-looking vampire, though, for my money. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want no bloated corpse?
No.
Well, I'm not a corpse, but hey, I'm halfway there.
Well, listen, he can't be skinnier than me. That's my rule. Can't be skinnier than me. All right. You keep making me get lost in these little topics.
You're just about your woman.
I know.
She was in 76. You were at 75.
It brings into 1976 and a book that changed vampires forever.
I didn't realize how much she changed it.
Yes.
I was reading that whole little article on her, and that was just awesome.
She didn't just put good clothes on them and comb their hair.
It wasn't My Fair Vampire.
In one of them, the vampire Lestat, he decides he's going to end it all right. He can't take it. And all of his friends are mad at him anyways. He's just going to do it. He goes straight up to the sun. And that's the last thing he remembers. So he wakes up buried in the desert. Still alive, but really tan. It's just fabulousness right there.
Vampire camouflage.
Yeah. And then he ends up finding the king and the queen of the vampires.
Who were Egyptian.
They're Egyptian. So, Interview the Vampire introduced the brooding, self-loathing creatures who are beautiful, emotional, powerful, and immortal. And her books are always neat. It's not just blood they need to survive, because they can, in fact, after they've gone so long, they can go great periods of time without needing much blood at all. But they keep having to replenish their souls through finding new proteges, new muses to travel with
Aaliyah.
And to create.
When you think about living forever, what that would do to your mind.
And then with that, it kind of suggests that the idea of monogamy is nuts. So they can't just be around. They always have it they'll go a couple 100 years together, right? And they'll have this tip. Something will happen. Or one person will just silently go away one day. And all of a sudden, they don't see each other for another couple 100 years. Armand and Lestat
What book was it?
Didn't see each other for a really, really long time.
Kelly Armstrong. With the kitty books. Remember, there's vampires in there, too. And they had, the hierarchy of the vampires, and the more high up ones were playing what they called the long game. and everybody was scared of the outcome of the long game. It's something these vampires were trying to bring about with the centuries. I never quite understood what it was, but he was talking about staying alive forever, and man, that would just blow you. That would kill you, wouldn't
We
it?
are done talking about the vampires.
Well, I figured you'd go into Anne Rice.
Yeah, we did. We did a lot of Anne Rice. I like it. I like the analogy between people drifting in and out of your life and, I don't know, longings. The twisting of the religious stuff, like the blood becomes a holy relic to them, whereas real holy relics burn them. Like, I don't know how to describe what I'm. Can you help me what I'm saying?
Chris lives 15 minutes from Mercy Brown Cemetery. Panda.
What? Are you kidding me?
Hey.
Chris. What?
Better get up there with your mama.
Is it the Mercy Brown?
Yes, that's what he was talking about. He's been to her gravesite.
Wow. That's really weird. And that's a weird story.
I mean, you have to understand, that still goes on in parts of Europe.
Well, look how weird we got during the pandemic, right? And TB was a big deal for a long time. Tuberculosis. And then the plague.
There's a show called From. It has vampiric creatures after people trapped in town. They can't leave.
Yeah, Leah. I was going to say Queen of the Damned.
I was reading about one. It's a movie that was released in Sweden in 2008, but didn't get released in America until 2010, called Let Me Come In or something like that. And it was about a girl child vampire that befriends a human boy and helps him.
The black-eyed children are supposed to be like a vampire in some way, where you have to let them in. And they always want something like they're hungry.
I discussed doing an episode on black-eyed children. You said I probably couldn't find enough information on it.
I couldn't find enough information on it.
Remember that? Is it any good, Sarah? Because I was thinking I might want to watch it.
Hi, Okies Eden. Do you have a favorite vampire, Okies Eden?
Dusk Till Dawn is probably my favorite vampire movie. I mean, that is just, I know yours probably Interview with the Vampire, but Dusk Till Dawn was just, wow. No,
Interview with the Vampire is a different kind of vampire.
And think about it. I mean, that was an interesting concept. They were in a Aztec temple, and they made basically a mortal trap.
Yeah.
Salem's Lot, I agree. Salem's Lot is really, really good. Did they remake that recently, or?
Yeah.
I read that book in the course of 3 days. I read that book 4 times.
Was Rutger Hauer in the new Salem's
No,
Lot or
he
the
was in the
old
old one? He was in the old one.
Okay, he was hilarious. It's a hilarious little
Interview with the Vampire is your favorite, Sarah. I think she would. She would probably agree with it. I mean, she is a huge Anne Rice fan.
Yeah, Okie, you check Sarah out. She's a little beekeeper. She's got really pretty gardens. She's got a big old nice pond. She does she makes honey creations.
There was her sister wrote a book that I read. It was a werewolf book.
Anne Rice?
Anne Rice's sister. The Lost Boys. Yeah, The Lost Boys is great.
The Monster Squad.
Oh, the Monster
Ha ha! I got one y'all didn't get.
There was another one. They were talking about another one where Dracula comes in and he's kind of like the anti-hero, and he goes by the name Alucard. And on Monster Squad, he went by Alucard. It's
Dracula backwards.
Yeah.
Jinx.
What is that dang book by her sister? Now it's tripping me out.
Google it.
Silverwolf.
Silverwolf, she says.
Yes, it was. And it's like set in like almost like Roman times. Yeah, it's awesome book. Awesome.
I truly hope someday.
Underworld. Oh, yes. Underworld. How could we forget Underworld with the vampires?
That's you and Haley like that movie. It's not
That is a great story. I mean,
I'm not an action movie kind of girl.
The first immortal spawns both the vampire and the werewolf from the same bloodline. And then on down through the centuries, the bloodline comes back together. And you end up with the hybrid. You know? I mean, wow. You know?
Was it a thing in it's a thing in Anne Rice's vampires that they have to be beautiful people. Like, you don't make an ugly vampire. You also don't make a child. That's why it was a big deal. Claudia was a child.
I can't remember
against the rules.
Whose story it was, but there was a thing where if they became a vampire, they became beautiful. It would like correct anything wrong with them, like their immortality thing, you know? It would like make them beautiful people. Blade, yes, Blade was good. I'll agree with you there. And the Blade where they brought Dracula in was awesome.
Poor old Wesley had to go to jail for a little bit.
Well, I mean, how many of them have gone to jail over tax stuff like that because their accountants are... Look at Willie. I mean, if it hadn't been for Farm Aid or, you know, all that stuff, Willie would have went to jail. They tried to take Trigger, his guitar. He ended up like sending it with his brother or somebody to Hawaii and hiding it.
It's got a hole in it, you know? It's only sentimental and worth something because he touched it. And that's just like God awful that they would take that.
Wesley Snipes and Chris Christopherson. I used to love Chris Christopherson. Sarah, you ever seen the movie Convoy? That's the first place I remember Chris Christopherson.
Is that from the song?
The song was about, I mean, I don't know if the movie spawned the song or the song spawned the movie, but yes.
I know, I caught a radio show one time. This lady was like,
the more you make, the more they take. Yes, I agree with you, Sarah.
Convoy song. She was just speaking it, and it was the funniest thing.
Talking about the more you make, the more you take. There's actually, I mean, you can like get extra time, you know, like on the drilling rig. And back in the day, when we worked 8 hours, you had to do doubles. If you wanted a day off, you had to find somebody to work a double for you. And we had it figured out that if I worked more than 3 doubles in a pay period, taxes got most of the money. So, I mean, how wrong is that? The more you work, the more they will take from you. If you work too much, then you will be paying more to taxes than you would bring home in your check.
And now he works 12-hour days. 12 hours.
Oh, you haven't seen Convoy? Oh, it's great. It's an old movie, and it was the heyday of the CB and all that. But he's the rubber duck.
Calamity Jane was just talking about growing up with CB life.
That is his CB handle, the rubber duck.
Yeah.
And that's on the song too, the rubber duck.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Help it, fix it. Oh my God. What do I do? I'll just stay here.
The cat, man.
I was like, here it goes. That's probably about it for us, guys. Look, I made it an hour.
No way. Come on.
Look, it's 6:59.
Oogie's Eden just got here.
Listen, y'all, what we did today, we made.
Oh, I love old movies, Sarah.
I love old movies. We would go.
Our kids were raised on 80s movies. I mean, girl is a total 80s fanatic. Yeah, oops. A cat and a psycho dog after a...
I thought it was really
and a blind dog. You can't forget the blind dog. He's like a furry bowling ball.
And it's like the widest tripod, right?
Follow Sarah. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Let her tell you about the birds and the bees. And I think Sarah has explained, like,
And the flowers.
there are
and the
levels
bees.
of beekeeping. Like, you can go really, like, there's more equipment, there's, like, things.
Did
but
you know?
Sarah's like a relaxed beekeeper kind of vibe.
Did you know? When I was a kid, I was deathly allergic to bee stings. I mean, really bad. They would put me in anaphylactic shock. My throat would close up.
So allergies can change. But also, like, if you're in a state of, I don't know how to explain, like, if you have so many histamines in your body anyway, and then you add another really big shot, you don't have to be allergic to that next thing. It's just like an overload.
Well, these days, I mean, I've been stung by hundreds since, and it doesn't bother me a bit. But when I was a kid, I remember I kicked a watermelon rind, and there were bees underneath it. I didn't know, they were underneath it eating the watermelon. And when I kicked it, one of the bees flew out and stung me. And I remember they almost had to do a tracheotomy on me. I mean, my throat closed up and I was
Oh my gosh.
And now I'm not allergic at all. Talk about Lizzie Borden. Well, see, Lizzie Borden is a great subject, but I mean, what category would that be? I
You
mean,
just have to talk about serial killers.
yeah, serial. I don't know if that would.
I don't think that's supernatural. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I want to do the triangles.
I don't know about you guys, but the
Someday.
supernatural stuff is okay. I like the supernatural. It's very intriguing. But when you get into like serial killers and like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and stuff like that,
Quit
that
leering at me when you
actually,
say
that
it.
actually could happen.
Trying to get away.
That people are capable of, that just freaks me out.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You gotta talk about murder and stuff.
I just want to talk about, like scary stories, not murder
I like
stories.
the dark side of folklore. I don't like the dark side of humor.
Right. Krampus will come take us away. It's not going to be a bad guy.
Dexter. See, I've never watched Dexter. I've heard a lot about it. We did watch that American Horror Story thing. It's not American Horror Story, but it's about Ed Gein.
Yeah.
That was pretty creepy. I mean, you almost felt sorry for him in the end, but when you come right down to it, goodness, he was the basis for Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, he was a nut.
Oh, it was a movie.
And Silence of the Lambs.
It wasn't like a documentary. It was a movie.
It was, like I said, wasn't American Horror Story. Was it it's like the true crime thing? Like,
Monster.
yeah.
I think it's done by the Horror Story
It
guys.
is. Kind of like the OJ thing.
Monster.
They did OJ. They did another one. They did Impeach, or the one with Bill Clinton. Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah.
Lizzie Borden house is haunted. See, I've heard that. I mean, they say that there are things like echo hauntings, where like if something very traumatic or violent happens in a house, it can leave like an imprint. And if any place is going to have something like that, it would be the Borden house. I mean, that was brutal. And
Sarah Winchester house. If we're gonna that's a cool house. Sarah Winchester. You've ever heard about Sarah Winchester? That lady fascinates me. And it reminds me of the Stevie Nicks song about building your house.
If you like the Lizzie Borden story, who is the woman that does the Bitten books?
Carrie Vaughn.
Yeah, Carrie Vaughn. Remember in the book with the witch who dies and becomes like an angel?
Yeah.
Eve was her name. The Nix, when she runs into the Nix, that spirit, the Nix was a spirit that caused Lizzie Borden to kill her parents. Remember? I mean, that woman's awesome. She ties in some historical stuff.
That was Kelly Armstrong.
Was that Kelly Armstrong?
Yeah.
Or was it Carrie Vaughn?
Carrie Vaughn was the kitty books.
Oh, okay, we had them backwards. My bad.
Kitty
Thank
of the
you very
Midnight Hour.
Carrie Vaughn is the kitty books.
Rose Red.
A werewolf named Kitty.
Rose Red is like
Kelly Armstrong
stealing
does
the Winchester
bit.
house a little bit. Yeah, Rose Red. I love Rose Red.
Now there was also a movie
I
called
love Stephen
Winchester
King.
that went totally off the deep end.
Yeah, there was a movie with Helen Mirren in it. It needs to stick to like Interview with the Vampire. You know,
Helen Mirren.
it needs
got
to stick
some
to the
awards.
facts with the Sarah Winchester house. You don't need to make up any backstory. Just tell the Sarah Winchester story. Her husband's family made guns. She believed that these guns cursed her and killed her baby. Sarah Winchester was told by a spirit that she needed to keep building on her house until she died.
She probably talked to a psychic that was like the sister of a contractor.
I don't care. Listen, she
Right.
believed
Hey, I'm gonna get my brother some work here.
believed she was bedeviled, and she sought to at least make friends with the spirits. She did things that would appease them, that would essentially trap them in her house. She was a strange woman.
One thing, if she's so scared of the spirits, why does she want them in her house with her?
No,
She didn't try to trap them like
the
that.
bad stuff happened before
Hey, Haley,
she devoted to building that house like that.
recognize her?
Okay, so we are having enchiladas tonight. This is our Christmas dinner.
Eldon.
We didn't have our Christmas dinner because he was away working. We've got all the components ready. I made a homemade enchilada sauce. If you guys have never done that, you should. It's just delicious. And I don't like whatever wang they put into the canned enchilada sauce. I've never liked it.
Kind of wonder what happened to Peach tonight.
No. She's got, like us, we've got construction projects going. He needs to start framing my walls for my laundry
See that
room.
one on TV?
And that thing is about done. I'm going to go back to making my garden tours, and I'm digging up a bunch of grass in the front. These are all things I got going on.
Right now, the garden tour would take like 2 minutes.
Yeah, the garden tour wouldn't take very long. I'm still got my cabbages out there, and I've got that flowering broccoli now, because the warm days were just not where it was at. Now, I do have Brussels sprouts out there that are making, so I'm waiting for those, and I'm waiting for those cabbages to
The cold
make a
coming in.
decent head so I can harvest those.
Look
And
at that. See that?
my red clover I've planted has come up, and I've got some in a couple of garden beds out there. We have planted ryegrass. Has rye and a couple of other things, right? Not Bermuda. In my backyard, we've been watering it in, and it's sprouting up. So we've been doing things and just not showing a lot, like taking some time, you know.
I just noticed the white paint on my elbow.
But I'm ready to get things going and start a real good
That's
schedule.
not from home.
My
construction,
chat is
that's my
froze
job.
here. Is yours?
Yes.
I'm leaving. I love you guys for coming. Hope y'all hit the like, and just know I'll be coming to see you. And Sarah, I want a t-shirt of your little, if you see this, I want a t-shirt of your little bee art that you do with your heat-seeking camera or whatever it is, infrared.
Seeking camera.
Peace, guys. How do I end it? There it goes. You too. You have a great night, too.